On the Coach's Corner with head coach Brett Weaver. And Brett, you picked up your first win of last week. It's got to feel good to get the first win under your belt.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I was very proud of my boys for bringing a win in.
Defense was pretty much outstanding for that football game. Forced a lot of fumbles, interceptions. I believe 4 interceptions in that game. What's kind of been the motto in practice as far as getting that defense to continue to step up?
Our defense has been the strength of this team for the first 2 years and will be again this year. Gave up 0 points, 0 offensive, well, 3 points, so no touchdowns. Their motto is to gang tackle and strip ball. They know that they have to go to the whistle. We stress that. We stress that so much, and even in practice, they practice like they play and they go until the whistle blows. Sometimes we have to blow it a few times, but that's good. That's good. We got to put that in them.
On the offensive side of the ball, a couple of unforced turnovers, mental mistakes, a lot of penalties in that game. How do you try and transition to bringing less penalties in that game and have more of an offensive flow?
It's about chemistry. In semi-pro football, it's one thing I really stress with guys. It's no matter what level. High school and college, you're so used to practicing 5 days a week and spending time with those guys. You can build chemistry. With semi-pro, they got jobs, they're students, they got kids. It's hard to build that chemistry. So we stress as much as we possibly can that they have to get outside of the practice field to build some of that chemistry as well whenever they can. Today the win's not going to help, the passing game, but we're going to try and focus on some short yardage passing and run the ball a little bit more today, obviously.
The running ball was one of your strengths last week with Jasper Williams and Anthony Carpenter. Big bruisers at the fullback position, finding how do you get them more involved and try and get this running game to where you want it?
Well, we've got a little bit of surprise for the Broncos today. We're going to be switching up our formations a little bit, so you're going to see a little bit more smash mouth football today.
Awesome. What can you tell us about the Broncos going into today's game?
New team. They had one preseason game against the Silverbacks. They lost their first game ever, so I don't really think much for preseason. It's like a glorified practice, if you will. And then they played the Lumberjacks last week. They ended up losing 18-12, but for a new team to go against a team that was in the championship last year, and the Lumberjacks are an extremely powerful team, they held their ground very well. But again, it's with them. Again, it's also chemistry. Having that chemistry and not knowing how to come back. Score. Maybe they felt a little bit out of it. It's hard to say. I didn't get to see the game, but I've been in their shoes, so I know what it's like to come out strong and have something happen and not being able to adapt to it.
Well, Coach, best of luck in today's football game.
Thank you very much.
Head Coach Brett Weaver here on the Renegades Broadcasting Network.